Whoa. Bing. Wow. Right? Just wow. I can't believe I am wowed. Just crazy, right? As I muddle up and prepare for more conversation here. I need to plug in the laptop because the battery's dying and I need to have access to that. It's crazy. The craziness behind it all. Huh. I can't believe the chat went the way it did. The Fireside chat. It's just nuts. I'm just baffled, right? Baffled. I'm almost speechless, but I'm not speechless because I have notes written down. There we go. Whew. For reals, the reals. Hello. How are you? I'm just getting the video out there so people can join the chat. Hopefully they can see it. So as I'm sharing the link, tell me, did you watch the Fireside chat? Was it everything you expected? I mean, wow, right? It was there to me. It was like everything I expected and some. Because it, like, not to sound like Watsy's heartless, but it felt heartless. It was nuts. Alrighty. So now I got chat up on the laptop so I can see your chat when they come in. And man, so crazy. So in DJ's live, we're gonna be talking about what happened today, but I got a feeling that my viewers, my subscribers, the people that I cherish a lot, you guys, they would want to know what the tortoise thinks. And well, as negative as things are, let me try to fix that so the window's not so bright all over. All right. So as negative as things went for the player base of the game, it was just nuts. Like, I couldn't even think about eating during the whole conference. You know what I'm saying? I barely took a drink of my coffee during the conference or the Fireside chat. These are the notes I have for tonight's show on DJ Longhair's channel, right? But I wanted to share some of these notes with you because they're more opinion-based notes. They're more the notes for guidelines of what I want to say on the live because, there's going to be a bunch of people on the live most likely and probably not enough breathing room to talk for everybody. So I wanted an outlet to talk to you guys, because like Like, first of all, I want to say I feel like there's a big disconnect from Hasbro to WotC to the player base when it comes to the Magic product line. We, the people, have been talking about how much is too much product, right? Too much reprinting going on, too much shenanigans, basically. And all Hasbro and WotC had to say is it's not enough. It's the monetization could be more. So basically they're taking the entry level Magic and pushing it up higher, further. It's like there are people who want to play the game, but they're gonna price the game outside of people. It's insane. Insane, right? In fact, one of the key things that was said about Magic players in general is, and they didn't say in these exact words, but here's how it came off. They are more excited and concerned about the Magic players' spending habits and learning the habits of the Magic player when it comes to buying product than they are with the game itself. They rather you, me, they rather you and I to buy their product. They want to know how we buy the product. They want to know what products we are invested in or want to be invested in than they are with the actual quality of the game. And as much as Hasbro and WotC say they don't look at the secondary market, it is obvious by their intonations that they do watch the market. They do watch the secondary market because they know through the secondary market of which cards will push a set. They know what cards will sell a set. Like if they make a crap product but put in a couple good chase cards, they will put those chase cards in there to sell the set, even if the set's not that great. I mean, take a look at this. Dominator Remastered has a lot of big hitters in it. A lot. Like, I'm actually going to make an MTG3 video on the product because it has really good reprints that I validate as a player. And they even put a line across how important that is. In my MTG3 videos, I don't like to talk about reprints. And it's not because I don't like reprints, because I love reprints. I love keeping the price of cards at an even level, like a lower level, but not too low. But I like to talk about the new things that are fascinating. So in general, I normally wouldn't talk about a reprint set because why get excited over something that's being reprinted when you could be talking about something new and exciting, right? But I'm going to cover reprints because I love them, and WotC knows the value of these cards, so they're making these chase cards valuable to go after. And what's going to happen with these chase cards? They're going to drop, right? Wow. What do you guys think? What do you think? What I'm saying is nuts? Do you think what I'm saying is stupid? I mean, it could be. Heck, am I even live? Heck, am I even live? Yep, I'm live. So, as much as Hasbro and WotC say they don't look at the secondary market, and it's apparent that they do look at the secondary market. That's what I just want to say. And it's blatantly said, there are more ways to monetize the game than they are already monetizing the game. So, what does that mean? Right? To me, that means that, one, they're going to want to make more ways for people to spend money on Magic the Gathering from entry level to the pro level. They want to grow as a company. They want to grow their player base, right? Their player base will be ridiculous. So here's what I mean. They're more worried about growing their player base than they are satisfying their player base. They want to have a bigger crowd of people spending money than they are with nurturing what they have already. So they want to grow a community bigger, right? But they're less worried about keeping that community healthy with nutritious product, like product that people want to reinvest in, right? They're more worried about growing the community bigger than they are taking care of the body of the community they have. I mean, think like a church. I think this is the best way to think about it. Like in church, growing up, I was raised in a church, and as much as I'm not a part of the church anymore, but like something that stands out is in a church, they talk about the best way to build a church is to build the body of the church, to give nutrition, like spiritually, but they are nutritious. Sorry, I just read your comment, Brian. So we are cheaper and easier to replace. Yes, we are. But our money is what they need. And what they should do is they should focus on what they have. And I think they've probably been trying to do this and it didn't work out for them. I could be wrong, not to go back on my own word. But basically, it feels like they're pushing out more product than the player base can consume. So they need to grow their community to fit the product demand. So they're trying to make product in a demand. They're trying to make product where there's no demand, and they're trying to create the demand through the community. So they're trying to grow the community so their product matches the demand. But all right, I'm going to get confused following these notes and talking with chat. But look at this. All right. Here's something I got to say. Here's a clever way to look at it. Magic is becoming a less collectible card game with the reprint system the way it is. So, WotC and Hasbro are looking at this like Willy Wonka's and the Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. And to make sense of this, they got a chocolate factory, and they need to sell out to many people. They're not worried about our health. Let me read this. The tinfoil hat theory is that the company is following a script ran by an AI, right? But it's probably procedure. Like they're following textbook documents on how to grow a company. But to get back on track, buddy, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, they're not worried about how unhealthy the product is. They're just more worried about us buying and consuming the product. So they could care less if you overeat chocolate and get diabetes, like I'm diabetic. And that is a different topic, being diabetic, but they don't care if we get diabetes as long as we keep and continue purchasing their product until the day we die, And that's basically what it felt like, because it felt like a monotone chat and, them patting themselves on the back. It's not that amazing of a feeling for us, the public. But for them, they're like, we did amazing. We are successful. But at the same time, they're basically scraping to create more of a community so they can create the demand. Yeah, consume and obey. Let me put on the glasses, like that movie, Put on the Glasses and you see the truth. For sure. So, one thing I've learned from this is Hasbro for sure understands the addictive side effects of the game. They know they get people sucked into the game. They know they get people who get habitually into the habit of spending money on the game. So they'll keep producing nostalgic product. Hey, Chris Walker, what's up? What's up? Ooh. Watsy and Hasbro understand the game's addictive, and they know that we're going to buy their product. They want us to buy their product, but they want to build the community bigger than the demand. Like I said previously, not to reinstate what I said, but like they know how addictive the product is. They understand that. That's all right, Chris. If you're here, you're here. Just chill. Just chill. Let your mind get in the mindset it is. I'm just trying to talk through my notes, so I understand what I'm saying. Because the biggest focus that they got at the beginning of the Fireside Chat conference thingy is they're more interested in knowing the habits of the players. They're well rehearsed in the habits of the player. That they're more focused on their habits, our habitual behavior. They want us to not only buy their product habitually as a habit, they know our addictive behaviors. And I used to be hugely addictive to buying Magic product, and before I got to a place where I couldn't afford Magic product like it is. But like there was a time where my mindset was, well, I want to be up to date with the Magic product. I want to spin the Magic product. But there was a time in life where real life I had to step aside, right? And let Magic product be Magic product. So this is easy for me to say, nah, I don't need this card, or I don't need to get in this set. In fact, right now I'm in the mindset where if I really like a set, it's because I like the set of a few cards, and I'd rather buy the few cards off the secondary market than invest in the set, because most of the set's jank. Even though I am really hyped about the remastered Dominaria set. I am. But that's because of nostalgia. And Wizards, and WotC, and HASBRO know for sure how to hit the nostalgic buttons nowadays. But that's going along with the addictive behavior. I knew a kid a long time ago who was so addicted to buying Magic product and getting those sweet pulls. Back in the day when original Innistrad came out, this guy spent all his money, his rent money, and his food money on buying 6 boxes of Innistrad just to pull a Liliana the Val. When in front of his face, in the Magic shop, he could have bought one for, was it $20 back then? But he's addicted to opening the product. I mean, this guy had more bulk than he had the cards he wanted. And this stuck with me growing up. And now I can see Hasbro and WotC watches stuff. And like when they do the surveys, they look for these key things. What will sell a product? What will the player buy? What would be the irrational thing for a player to do? And how do we get them to do that irrational thing? You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what I got from this Fireside Chat. They rather us do the irrational spending. James Willis, what's up? What's up? Oh, man. I'm so happy you're all here. Because I'm just trying to get through my thoughts on this. Because like I said, I got notes for tonight's live. But I want to talk with you guys. Because why not? Why not? More rehearsed I am with my thoughts, better I am later, right? But the more I get to know what you guys think. I mean, there was a point where they literally said that they care about the profits of the game. Okay, I'm excited to see, after seeing all the cards they keep showing us. That's funny, I pulled the foil regular Lily from the OG Innistrad from the box while a friend bought 3 for 1 reg. Yeah, right? Not my hopes and dreams anymore. Right, James? Oh, man. Right. I agree 100%. It is not your hopes and dreams anymore. But like I said, there was a point where they literally said they care more about the profits of the game, but came off as if they don't understand the game itself. Like Hasbro came off as if they didn't understand Magic. And they actually tried explaining the game. And they explained the game worse than I think a noob player could explain the game. But they talked about the learning about the habits of the buyers, the people invest in the game. They talked about the habits. They made a focus on the habits and more than the actual gameplay, right? So they're interested in us. You know those ads you get on, when you talk and you talk about things? Yeah, it was a very bad work conference of all time. It was the first one, so there could be more. But like, look at this. When you talk about like Magic the Gathering or maybe toothpaste or something like needing toothpaste and you get an ad for it, and the phone's listening, they're always getting into your headspace basically through your phone, whatever devices. All right, because I don't know what y'all devices do this kind of stuff, and I don't want to get into conspiracy theory. But your phone's listening, your apps are listening for the products you click on and stuff to sell the data to the companies. Well, this was major proof of that working. Hasbro is looking for the habits of the player. They're not looking for your enjoyment of the game. They're not looking for what sells that you're individually interested in. They're looking for the cells that you will basically reflex by. Like, if they show something to you, they want to know if you're going to like naturally use reflex to it and reach out for that product. I think at least one person in that call will be fired. Maybe that's Cynthia. That'd be funny. It wouldn't surprise me, but it would be funny. Whew. So another big thing, they make it feel like they're not worried about us engaging. Like, they don't care how we engage with the product as long as we engage with making them profits. So will they even get better at producing better sets, or are they just going to show us shiny things? I was taking a shot of whiskey every time they said engage. I passed out before the video ended. Man, with the amount of time they talked about engaging, your liver might need to see a doctor. Right? You might need to see a doctor for your liver there. I mean, they talked about so descriptive text, right? When they say engage, they're not talking about how you engage with the game. They're talking about how you engage with your wallet to the profits. So they don't care. They don't care if you buy a product to sell, play, or not. They only care if you're buying. They don't care if you have fun with a deck. They care if you're buying the product. Right. So most of their answers were scripted, but it's not like scripted that we're putting on a show. Usually when you go on a conference call, I have experience like this. In fact, I'm kind of doing it right now, but not on purpose. But when you get a conference, you kind of outline what's going to be asked in the conference. You get prepared for the questions in the conference, so you have a scripted plan, so you don't go off base. And like, I'm doing this live where I'm talking to you guys to chat. I like, if they do it so they don't stumble and they don't go off script, because they don't want to accidentally say something that'll give something away. They don't want to seem feeble. They don't want to seem chaotic either. They want to seem like they have their plan down, so that everything is scripted ahead of time as best as they can, so they can give the answer best to their knowledge. But at the same time, this is a large corporation, so everything is scripted to sound good for the investors, not for the players. Most of their answers were scripted, you could tell. Exactly, but they had zero real plan. We could tell. Yeah, we could tell. There's no real plan behind it. In fact, one thing I noticed, and I have in my notes, the LGS was only mentioned once. And not even how they plan to engage with the LGS, but only talking about how the players engage with the LGS. And it was only mentioned once. The LGS used to be their biggest way of getting to us. Now we're not. Now they're more focused on getting to us than they are with the LGS. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's like how we would talk, right? If we were to talk, if I was to talk to Cosmic Seeds, Chris Walker, Brian Giles, it'd be through the phone. Now imagine the phone's the LGS. I use the phone to talk to Chris. That's engaging with the phone. It's not like that anymore. Hold on, I got a cough. Dry throat, sorry. So, the phone is my biggest communicator to you guys. Like, in fact, right now I'm going live off my phone. I got my laptop here so I can see your comments. So, the LGS being the main communicating device between us, the players, and WotC no longer exists. Thank you. Wife got me this a long time ago from Spencer's Gifts in the mall. Had to get it because of the washer and dishwasher safe and everything. Right, one LGS mention is nuts. I mean, the LGS used to be their bloodline. That's how they used to draw all their data. That's how they used to sell products. That's how they used to advertise. But now, since we got the invention of the internet, and you can't tell, but I'm pointing at my laptop. But like, since we got the invention of the internet, and they can directly talk to us now. You know, secret layers. Heck, I just bought my first secret layer ever. And that was the Megatron versus Optimus Prime secret layer. First one I ever bought. Directly from WotC. As excited as I am for the secret layer, I'm kind of feeling shitty that I didn't buy it from an LGS. But you can't really, because not only they're selling the secret layer for $30 at a good deal, the LGS would have to mark it up to $50 to even make some money back. And that's not even making money back. Like $60 would be breaking even on $30, right? Assuming there's no tax. All right, Cosmic. Got to be back to work. Was on lunch. Take care. Have fun. Thanks for jumping in. Now it's the WPN and Amazon, right? WPN. Selected stores. You know, if you really take a look at what a WPN store is, it's basically a store with the people or customers who spend the most money. Because people who spend the most money, they'll take care of their store with people who spend the most money, so people will be attracted to the store. Some companies, some LGSs are not that attractive to Wizards because their sales base is lower, even though they do take care of their store, but they can't offer as much events or special products or giveaways because they don't make that much money to keep up with Wizards. And tin hat theory is you're going to see a drop in LGSs from the WPN list because they can't keep up. Because imagine, like, you live in a small town and you only have 30 people who can commonly visit that store and keep the store in business. They won't be able to be a WPN store because they won't have enough stuff to answer. Chris Walker says, I want that Transformers secret layer and too, and yeah, it'll be my first one also, for sure. I've only got a few random cards from secret layer, right? Well, so the random cards back in the day when the secret layer came out, the random cards were only being given out because they didn't sell them originally from like the Planeswalkers. They didn't sell them from the Planeswalker set. It didn't do well. So they threw them in the secret layers as extra cards. And they kept on doing it because they had so many of them. So I don't know if we'll get a special card in this set. If we do, that'd be nice. So, but they kept on the tradition of doing this for a while because people got used to it. Because you spend $30, like if we're spending $30 on this product, they wanted to make it feel like it's worth the money, which I don't think they need to in this set. If they want to make it feel something special and throw an extra card, that'd be amazing. Right? There's no overprinting. So I think they misunderstood the overprinting part. Because like when they talk about overprinting, they're like, we're not overprinting products. We print to demand. Right? They're talking about this each set. What's up, wife of Moxfire? Welcome to the chat. So they're saying we're not printing overprinting. We're printing to demand on each set. But what they didn't take away from the overprinting thing was they're printing too many products. Well, hello, real Mox. You're not the wife because you're Mox, so you're the husband of wife of Moxfire. So instead of thinking of they're printing too many products out, like one product, secret layer, jumpstart, whatever, precon, they're printing too much product in general. Like throughout the year, they're printing too much product, and they heard the word overprinting. They're thinking we're overprinting each product, but they're not thinking we're giving too many products out there. Then they try to disguise it, right? They try to disguise it as we print to demand for each product. So they misunderstood the concept of what we were saying. We think there's too many products being pushed at us. So that's where the overprinting of cards is. They think overprinting is each product is printed to demand, and they don't think they're overprinting each product. Oh, thanks. Don't forget to like the video, Chris. Thank you. Oh man. So I'm just kind of going through notes. It is inevitably clear that Hasbro doesn't listen to the players by what I was saying. They listen to the reports, and the reports, we don't even know what they're gauging the reports off of. No one buys the jumpstart for each set, and they will get rid of the line like they did with the theme boosters, right? Right, Mox? For sure. For sure they will get rid of the jumpstart. If it doesn't sell, they won't print it. But what sucks is there's times where people couldn't buy all the product of a product that was good, and they discontinued it even though it was a good product. They only look at sales numbers. So like I said, it's only inevitably clear that they don't listen to the player base. They listen to the profit margins. I mean, look at the spellbooks. Spellbooks were amazing. Then they discontinued spellbooks. Then they took the last two basically and turned them into Commander Legends, overpriced them, and sold those separately with less cards. More money for them, less cool product for us. That was really sad. That was like the secret layer I could get into because not only could I buy it from an LGS, but also they were usually packed full of good stuff. They look at the charts to show them details of our spending habits. That's where, like I said, the biggest takeaway I got from this whole Fireside is that they're more focused on our spending habits. They care about what we engage with. So how do we fix that, right? How do we engage with their products? Well, if we can massively get everybody in the world to buy the Magic products, boycott the products that are not worth it, that'd be nice. But they don't do that. They don't. They don't do that because they kind of print everything with a card worth money that someone out there wants. And when there's one person that likes one thing, you got to guarantee there's 1,000 others, right? Yeah, the Facebook, Google algorithm. There's more truth to that than you think because they do feed off what you look at, what you click on. Like, Every time you click on a website, click on a card image, it's saved to your computer, saved to your cookies. The cookies are transferable between you and the website. They know what you're interested in. Like, man, when a new set comes out that I really like, they get feedback that I click on like mythicspoiler.com like 100 times. For reals. For reals. Oh, man. I need to take a drink. So unless we could really get a mass boycott, which I don't think we can, but who knows? The player base will be stretched very far. The only other thing that really stood out to me from the Fireside chat is WotC doesn't tend. They're not tending to the group of players that they have now. They'll throw us a bone to keep us satisfied, but they're not trying to keep us nutritious. Like I said earlier, they act like they're Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. They're dishing us chocolate. They don't care if we eat the chocolate to death. They don't care if we get diabetes. They just care that we're eating their chocolate. I literally watch people open box after box trying to hit the serialized cards. I even seen someone buy a case for $1,600 and win 4 free collector's booster boxes. Wow. Mox is crazy. Like I said, Brian says, we are easier to replace. The mass boycott can't work like the Jan 6 insurrection didn't work, right? Time Capsule. Oh, live stream while I'm working. Hey, bud. Welcome, Time Capsule. While you're here, enjoy your stay. Hit that like button if you want. But I'm just going through my notes so I'm more prepared for later on the roundtable, because I want to have a focused, clear thought, and I figured you guys would want to talk. Want to hear what I have to say, because this is a big momentous, let me rephrase that. This is a big momentous time where WotC let us in on a fireside chat, basically, of what they do when they talk about product. This gives us an idea of how they think, and I think it gave us more meat on the bone to think about than they realize. Because it has become clear that they are more about the investors that invest in the company than they are for those who invest in the products, right? They don't care that we invest in their products. They care that we just buy their products. I mean, we're not surprised. Right, all pats on the back and cocktails party, Brian. For sure, for reals. Well, hello, MTG Gaming Bob. Welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. I think this is like the first time you dropped in a while, so I'm happy to see you. Thank you for stopping by. It's a big ordeal. Consume mass quantities, right? So they were talking about secret layers, and this is a big key thing. And see, I listen to like I'm at church. Right, sad day in the world of MTG, but don't take it for granted, for sure. Because this is a big deal. Okay, like I said, let me go back. Like, I was raised in a church, so I know how to listen like I'm in church. When you're listening to the preacher and you're listening to those key words for the points of why you should serve God and why you should do something, and like I said, I'm not religious like that anymore, but key takeaways is, 1, they're into the habits. 2, they're into knowing our habits. 2, they're branching out to newer players more than they are catering for the body of the church. And 3, their company is number 1 over the quality of life of a invested player than they are in the investors, right? If I can make sense of that. See, and Gaming Bob, I agree with you. It's a sad day for the MTG community, but at the same time, this gives you a perspective you never had before. You got truths that you never had before, right? We've all defended WotC. We've all cared for WotC. We've all had our opinions on WotC, good or bad. Now, You got a place to put your foot and stand tall and stand firm. Now, this gives you the eyes, and I don't want to sound prolific, but now you have the eyes to see how a product is given out. And I felt like I've had these kind of eyes before this time, but I think this is more of a cemented in way to saying you have the eyes to see when a product's really worth it and what's going to be jank. Because, like the Magic 30 product, great idea. Bad price in general. But you can't disagree that they weren't looking at the secondary market, right? As much as they say they don't look at the secondary market, but it's very prevalent that they do to sell good product. M30 was a great product, and they knew it, and they over monetized it. Hasbro's trying to get more new players, like I said. They don't care about the already existing players. I know I've said this several times, but they care about us spending money, but they don't care about us like as a body. Like if in a church, and I hate to keep saying the church thing, but like in a church, when you're building a church, yeah, bad execution for sure. But like when you're in a church, their main focus in a church is to build the body of Christ and the people. Well, the public is the church of magic, right? Us, the players, are the church of magic. Instead of investing in us as the prophets of the church, the people who go out and do missionary work, giving us the confidence to have faith in the church of Magic the Gathering. I mean, this is a weird way to put it. Because the player base builds the company better than the company builds the player base. So instead of giving us the tools to be missionaries for the company, they're trying to take the tools themselves and get new players when no longer is the faith there for the company. Not really. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing I loved about Magic the Gathering. When I first started in 2005, I had a friend come up to me and tell me about the game, get me invested in the game. The whole idea drew me into the game. Then I started playing. Then the whole experience all the way up was completely player-based. And I got introduced to the local game store. And that brought me to more players, right? Everything was player-based. You know, it was like working up the way of becoming popular. You can't be popular without friends. You know what I'm saying? You have to have friends, and you got to rise above friends. And that's basically what playing Magic is like when it comes to the social outlet. The better decks you build, the better games you have, the more friendships you build, and you become popular. And now you're not looking to be like the number one guy everybody looks up to you popular, but you feel like you're part of a crowd. You disagree with the wrong price M30, I think is the price preserved for the value of the seat. Well, that's what I was saying, so I don't disagree with you there. I just think for Watsy saying, okay, let me clarify. For what Watsy says that they don't look at the secondary market, I think as the biggest indicator that they do. That makes sense? Because $1,000 for a set like that, sure. But they're shooting at the wrong audience. Because they said it's Magic 30 for everybody, but with a price tag for the few. Does that make sense? Like, this is how they should have released Magic 30, right? Like, look, I think Dominaria United, this set, and having a set like this is the best Magic 30 celebration ever. Right. You're right. They never said it was for everybody. And they say that about every side product they say. Right? Because you say they never said 30C was for everybody. Well, obviously, $999 is not for everybody. But when you're celebrating for everybody, that is not the product. That makes sense? Like that would have been like if now imagine if they brought the same idea of a Magic 30 pack and said this is a collector's pack for the collectors who want to engage with this product. I haven't seen a lot of the products for Magic 30th anniversary, to be honest with you, or I wouldn't be talking about it this way. The secret layer, yes. The secret layers, yes, for sure. But, like, how should I say this? Because I agree with you on everything you say, Bob. So, right, the promos, they're fine. The pre-releases, yeah, that's fine. But, like, I don't think it should, look at, let me address this way. I don't think the product for the pack should have been called Magic 30th. Right? And if it was, the playmats, see, I get what you're saying there, but no, like, they should have made a Magic 30th set. They could have done it like Masters 25. You know how they kind of went through every set, invested cards, made packs, made a good draft format out of it. That's what I think a proper M30 set would be. The Magic 30 little collector packs, they should have marketed it way different. If they wanted to keep that price, they should have made it a whole lot different, like sounding. Like they should have changed the way they said things. Because it basically put salt in the coffee. That's a weird analogy, but they put salt in the coffee of the everyday basic Magic player than it really did. Like they should have said, for the person who wants to engage with this product, which they didn't say till afterwards, for the person who didn't engage with this product, the person who wants to engage with this product, we're bringing out this very special set, and they should have, and honestly, they should have done something more to it, if you ask me. My opinion is, these are fake cards anyways, so why couldn't they give... Oh, I don't think you're defending WotC at all, because right now I understand where you are, because I saw your chat in the stream earlier. Yeah, I get what you're saying, because they are superimposing what they want to see, and they promised and delivered. You're right, but it's the execution that failed for the mass players. I think the reaction was, because basically what the community took it like with Magic 30 product is that this was the big way to celebrate for everybody. Even though they didn't say everybody. They're not fake cards. They are fake cards, but they're real cards, right? They're proxies. Like they should have done they should have gone out. Like, here's my thought. You're spending a metric butt ton on they're not proxies nor fake, right? But like if you're spending a metric butt ton on these cards, wouldn't it have been cool if you had a chance to get a Black Lotus with a Kaladesh Invention style frame? They should have added spice to it. They basically made a product and they made it look like it was worth less. They made it look like it was worth less than the product they're selling. When this was a good chance where they could have made things different. They're commemorative, non-terminate, legal, official WotC product, right? That's the right way to say it in that word of text. They're the commemorative, non-terminate, legal, official WotC product. It's like when they make commemorative coins that cannot be spent. That's for sure. But non-tournament legal cards, they're not proxies. But what are you going to use them in? They're going to use them as proxies anyways, except for the valuable cards they're going to store. They are commemorative. But that was one of my key issues with the set. Even though I didn't expect the conversation to go this way, but I'm fine with it. We're engaging. Like if they're going to be commemorative, they should have done it like the commemorative coins and made them look extra special. Like those dual ends, that looked horrible. They could have done a lot better. They could have even made them etched foil. They could have given them a whole different, cleaner design. They could have made them look spectacular for the price tag they're asking. Because it doesn't cost them that much to make these cards. But who knows what they had to pay to go around the loophole of not officially printing these cards to print these cards, because sometimes there's more money we are not aware of that is spent on making these products. So when you get to these cards, they could have gone a whole different route where you had a chance to pull an Inventions Black Lotus. That frame would have been beautiful. It would have been like hard. It could have been like serialized cards, And that's pretty much what this set is. It's serialized set because there's only a certain amount now, right? There's only a certain amount that's printed. We're assuming there's stuff in the background, but there's only a certain amount of these things out in the world. It didn't dress up. I mean, if I wanted to dress up for a formal dinner party, I'd get my butt ringed out, like ringed, if I was dressed up in a t-shirt and gym shorts. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how the product looks when they're selling it for a formal party price kind of thing. $500 a plate. Proxies are easily available, lower cost substitutions for expensive or hard to acquire cards. M30 CEO are not easily available or expensive. These do not fit the definition of a proxy. Not anymore. Not anymore. Imagine if the set did sell out well. Imagine if everybody bought them. The value of the prices of these cards would have dropped if a lot of them were bought. But only 1,000 some odd of them sold. And what they say in the Fireside chat is they clipped the product basically to have a sell amount so they can call it a success. I think it's smart that they did that because there's collectability in these now, which is weird because it feels like WotC's not in the collectible market anymore, especially with Hasbro. From what they were saying, overprinting products, printing all these products, all these reprints and stuff. Sounds like they're trying to drive the market value of the individual cards down. All right, you said they did not say that. They said they controlled the amount that they sold, but they didn't even specifically say. You can tell me what they said in chat. That's fine. Approximately were counterfeit cards based on actual official cards. Yeah. And don't be wrong, I'm not mad at you or angry with you or aggravated at you, Bob. I'm enjoying this conversation. Right, they made less available than expected. Which is fine. And look, I know you bought the cards, and honestly, I don't care. I don't have any feelings about it or against it or for it. So I want you to know that I'm completely open to the fact that you're defending these cards. Hey, Paz, what's up? Oh, I'm just chatting up. Just having fun talking because I want to go live about my talking tips. At least she's saying in a terrible way that they wanted to print more but did not. No, that's good. I mean, that could have been definitely the fact, for sure. But it is unspecified. Like, the way they said it sounds unspecified, like they were holding product back, or they didn't print enough. So, yeah. For reals. But like I said, my bipolar self, all right, I think they are super guilty of not being transparent. Yes, for sure, for reals. And Here's the thing about not being super transparent. That breeds conspiracy. Right? That would solve so many problems for sure. For reals. But like here's the key thing though. Here's the key thing I took away from that. The key thing I took away from the spirit of the conference, because like I said, I had all these notes. But the key thing, and I said it before, is they're more worried about the habitual spending habits that we have on the product than they are of the product itself. Now, this is Hasbro side of things, I assume, because I know Watsy cares about the product and puts a lot of effort in the product. Right. There literally was. Well, normally, well, first of all, welcome, Immortal Prince. Nice to see you here. First of all, usually when they do a product like that, like Secret Layers and stuff, they have some printed already. Then they normally print to demand. So I think Bob is right. They were not transparent in how it was supposed to go. And that's what kind of drives the insanity of it. Does that make sense? Like with Secret Layers, they usually have like, just say like 1,000 printed ready to go. People buy, they ship right away. Then for the ones that overestimated the product amount that sells, they print those up fresh and then send them out when they can. You know, yeah, they did say they didn't overprint anything. That like I said this earlier in the live, but I think and I'm not going to say they ignored us. I think they misunderstood the whole printing thing. Before the sale, Brian Kibler stated M30 was a very limited print run. Right, but who knows what a very limited print run is? You know, because 1,000 seems more limited than a million, and I wouldn't know what the numbers are, but even a million products ready printed or limited is a small amount compared to the mass amount of people who buy the product. Does that make sense? So it could be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Who knows? You're right about the transparency things. Not being transparent makes it hard. But trying to save face on a product, trying to look good for a company, they're not going to talk about their mistakes for sure. They're going to talk about what they did well at and highlight the things that they did right. Well, maybe it's best they didn't. Like, I think you are correct, Superfast Tourist, that Watsy management is completely missing the heart of what their buying public is trying to tell them. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Bob, for sure. Because like when they said people when they talked about overprinting product, they made it sound like they're talking about they're not overprinting each product they make, that they print to demand. When I think what they're selling or what they're saying is there's too much product they're pushing on us, and that's the print run that they're killing us with. Mortal Prince, I've played Magic since 2003. Oh, a couple years before I started, and was considering getting back into it. I'm seriously reconsidering after all this time. Well, if you want to get into Magic the Gathering, remastered sets are the best ways to get into the format nowadays. Commander is the easiest way to get into it, but if that's not your style, um, modern and legacy and eternal formats they're expensive ways to get into Magic, but they're more the solid basis to getting into Magic. But like if you played Magic before and you like drafting at your local game store is one of the better ways to get into Magic for me, because one, you're supporting your game store, and two, it is a controlled format based off the packs you open. And Cube, making a cube based off cards you love from playing the game is a great way to get in. You can keep it closed off, and you don't have to integrate into the mass public. You can integrate yourself into the game which you already love. There's so many new products coming out, so many mechanics to get into. I don't know how long you've been outside the game, but so many so many different things about Magic. Stylized cards, cards that look like fake Magic cards, that are real Magic cards, that look like proxies or something someone did just for fun. Yeah, it will be confusing if you want to get back in. They're more concerned with who they are telling about their jobs than cocktail party, right? It is a great and terrible time to return to Immortal Prince. It is great for playing Commander. Investing is a very volatile right now. Yeah. So, one of the things I have on my list here is Hasbro seems to not care about the collectability of Magic. Not saying WotC doesn't. Hasbro. And they don't care about the collectability, so they're going to reprint all the money worth cards into sets where they can, like they are with Dominaria Remastered, which has a lot of good cards in it. That they want you to buy new products so they stay in business, which is healthy for them. But like they want you to buy their cards, but they're as much as they don't look at the secondary market, they sure seem to know what cards in the secondary market that you and I want. And with that, they're kind of killing the drive of the secondary market. Prices going down, which I'm okay with to a certain point, but there's a point where you're breaking the limit there, and it's nuts. It's crazy, and they like this. To put it simple, is I don't think the Magic is gonna like the way things are going, and if they keep continuing this way, Magic is not gonna be as collectible as it used to be until WotC shuts down. Like if WotC shuts down, stops printing cards, and where the number of cards in the public are finite, where they kind of are not right now, until there's like a certain number of cards there anymore, I don't think the value is going to be there until that day. And when that day comes, who knows what's going to happen? Because if the company's no longer alive, who's going to keep the game alive? The players? The players who've played the longest and had the most enjoyment of the game at their LGSs with friends and stuff, they'll keep the game alive. But then there'll be people who drop off. Then you're going to have to wait like 10, 20 years for the product to even skyrocket, because until all the newer cards become antiques, vintage, retro, a lot of them are not going to be super valuable till then. You're right. Commander didn't exist when you played, because I started in 2005 and EDH started just a couple years after. That's right. Like Commander used to be like one of the best formats to play. But now everything's so focused on Commander that it's becoming more aggressive, more, I wouldn't say super competitive, but it's become more of a mainstream competitive way to play. Magic the Gathering was marketed as a trading card game, not a collectible card game. I agree, this was a big middle finger to the collectors and investors. Yes! And this made me think of you too, Bob. You are a collector. Like I collect cards for the fun of it. So the value of cards in general don't value to me except the playability of the cards. But like the reserved list, Magic 30 coming out, yes, I understand the price tag on there was there for a reason. Not to downgrade what I said earlier, but the price tag was there for a reason. But that kind of threatened the idea of the reserve list. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it effectively is a threat to the reserve list, but it's kind of a threat to the reserve list, because if they got away with it too much, well, hello, Alfonso Investments. Welcome to the stream. Like, if they got away with it too much, what if they felt loose enough to get in to the reserve list more? What if they started finding other ways to print the reserve list? You know what I'm saying? That's a scary part of it. Like, I don't care if the reserve list goes away, but I do defend people who care about the reserve list, because that's what keeps the game collectible in that particular market. All right. People who believe all cards should be cheap should be rejoicing. Cynthia made it clear that they all want players cards to be cheap and easy. Yeah, I want cards to be cheap and easy, but at the same time, there's a limit. Like I like my Liliana the Val. I got it when she's 100. And I was like 40 at the moment. I think that's a fine place, but if she goes down any lower, I'll be kind of sad. But WotC's WotC and HASBRO are making it hard. You know, I guess we all knew that they told us today, but to hear it directly from them made us so much worse. We can't even have hope that they care about us. We are just wallets to them, not people. Coach's Magic, welcome, first of all. Thank you for showing up. You're always a treasure. They made sure that they care about our habits of spending more than they care about us. Like I said before, and I think it's the best way I can put it, they're Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. They're selling this product of chocolate, basically, non-healthy product nowadays. They don't care if we get diabetes. They don't care if we get sick. No, they care if we just keep buying their chocolate and consuming it, right? So if we get fat and wasted and can't do much and not be invested in the game, they won't care. They'll probably care if a lot of us just dropped off eventually, but that's not going to happen. All right, I put together a commander deck in a group in an app, and it was a $2,000 deck, and I choked on my water. Right? Yeah, they're commander. Like commander is what's keeping the collector market alive right now. Not standard, modern, not as much, but there are still cards worth value there. Legacy's value is all in the reserve list. All the legal cards are in the reserve list, really. Like, because there's a lot of cards on the reserve list that are illegal in Commander, not all of them. But Commander is what's sustaining the market right now. And that's like 98% true. And I'm only saying that because there's error there I cannot think of. Alright, I actually find with the reserve list going away, the basic lack of understanding of the laws of supply and demand is frightening to me. I plan to scale back my WotC spending 80% in 2023. I can respect that, Bob. I can respect that. And sadly, because I'm a poor son of a gun, I can't support WotC and haven't been able to support WotC like that very much. But whenever I get money to spend on Magic cards, it's always at a local game store or cardkingdom.com, or I trade with my friends, right? 3 major ways I deal with Magic. It is just like in Star Wars. They are so fat and satisfied and don't have to care about us. They just want us to keep buying. We are easier to replace because there's someone else for clicks and Rudy Tacos. Rudy Tacos. I watched Rudy's content. Rudy's getting affected by this more than more than he enunciates the idea of it, right? Because Rudy, the way I see Rudy, and I have to say it this way, the way I see Rudy and the way I opinionate my thoughts about Rudy is he makes money as the secondary market. And so, as a secondary market, he sells cards, sells products to people, and he basically relies on WotC to do good. And if WotC doesn't do good, he's not doing good. And I could be wrong on this, but that's how I see Rudy. I see him as part of the secondary market. All right, Bob, you think a booster box or 2 of Dominaria Mastery would be worth it? The way the mythics are looking and the rares, I think a box or 2 has good chances of making money, but I don't know what the cost of the cards will be after products open up. Like, some of those cards are going to drop hard. So I don't know what the rarity rate is. Rudy has lost his... Rudy's gone crazy right now. He's... As a bipolar person, I can say he's having a hard time keeping his thoughts straight over his opinions. Right? So that's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong, and I don't want to talk down on a guy. I don't like talking down on anybody. Like, I know Bob and I see things a little differently on different subjects, but I respect you, Bob, 100%. You know, the reason why I respect you so much is because, I am a poor person. I'm on the poor side of things, and I respect where I am at. You're on a different side of things, and I can respect where you're at. Yes. I am very cautious about MTG as an investment right now. Uncontrolling printing is very bad for the market. Well, think about this. You don't matter to Watsy. I don't matter to Watsy, right? And I don't think you're rich. But you have more spending allowance than I do. Just to clarify that, Bob. But like, we don't matter to Watsy as much as we used to. Because back in the day, like if we were to rewind magic and go blip, 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 right? We go back into 2003, 2004, 2005. And I started in 2005, 2006, 2007. Watsy did all they can back in the day to show us that they cared about us. They sent us free cards. Hey, I'm not trying to over gratify you. I'm not trying to build you up to look like a tall guy full of money. I'm just saying we are in two different spectrums. Like I'm very poor. You could be middle class for all I know, but your spending difference is different than mine. And I'm not trying to make you look bad in a bad light, but like for the fact that like see, my average spending allowance is around $30 for Magic, and that's once a month maybe. You know what I'm saying? All I'm suggesting is the spending habits are different. All right. So, all right. So, and don't feel bad for me. I'm comfortable where I'm at. Like, I have over $500 worth of Transformers back there, and that's because I got them from the secondary market for really cheap. All right, really cheap. $50 for $300 worth of Transformers, and they're Beast Wars Transformers. Their prices kind of gotten iffy because of the remakes that they made, but the ones that I still have that are original are still worth money. So I'm very cautious about how I spend money. When I buy Magic cards for my cube or for my own personal collection, I go for cards I can assume and see that might go up. But I can't do that anymore because they're reprinting cards. I bought a Crucible of Worlds because I knew it was going to go up. All right, we'll see. Not might be a good time to be starting looking for building a cube. Seems like closed formats that don't require new cards. Well, Alfonso, good comment, but a cube has a different spirit than regular Magic. Like, see, Commander is all about building up a card, replacing cards where you need them. A cube is about building a draft set that you can relive, even if you update the cube here and there. It's not about building something you plan on continuing engaging, with changes. It's about building a format that you love, like a draft format, recreating that experience, like being able to relive a memory, get into those old nostalgic feels over and over again. All right. Not pity, bro. I know the days of choosing between food and gas. I was active duty military. Well, thank you for your service. Did not know that. And that was actually a time my dad was in that war too. Yeah, that war of 91 to 93, before he got out. So okay, below the poverty line. Yeah, that's for sure. With this cube, I feel so lost with this new stuff. I'm used to building a 60 card deck and playing friends or doing set booster. Well, okay, so one thing I plan to do, and this is where I get to shield my own channel out, is like in January I'm going to start a project on teaching people how to build a cube or talk about building a cube. But Magic, so let me get this right. Immortal Prince. What's your favorite block, right? And I'm asking this hypothetically. One of my favorite blocks was Ravnica. Now imagine if you could relive that. So you buy every card from Ravnica, the whole block, and put it into a playing format where you can make little 15 card packs and draft them out and build decks and play. Cube is building your own format. My cube is 725 cards or something big. The small cube is 360 cards. That's enough for 8 people to draft. You're basically building your own set of Magic to relive and draft again and again. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, life building a cube. I like building a cube. Seems pretty stable way to to relive an experience without needing to buy too much new stuff. Exactly. That is exactly. It's like building a cube, like varying how you go can be expensive, but once the cube's done, it's cheap to maintain. I think Judgment was the last set I purchased, right? So say Judgment was your favorite block. They've printed a lot of cards that are like that. Ooh. Kristen Aguilera, you're baffled? Baffled. Are you baffled about what we're talking about? Or are you talking about the whole talking situation? And welcome, Kristen. Yeah. So, back to what I was saying is like, if Judgment was your favorite set, assuming Judgment was your favorite set, say you got all the cards for Judgment, then you found enough cards to make a really good, Fireside Chat was baffling, for sure. So if you built Judgment into a set and a redraftable set and got enough cards to relive it, replay it, but you like started looking, investing in new cards to add to the flavor, to add to the themes of Judgment, because there are a lot of cards that will add to the theme, and build it up to enhance your experience, but just to relive Judgment over and over again with those enhancements, that's cute. Bloop. Dryer's done. Whew. Man, you guys have been amazing hanging out with, And again, Bob, like I said, thank you for your service, and I do appreciate and respect your opinions for sure. Okay. I don't know why that went for review. We love Magic and want to play, but how do you still want to play and give them more money when those corporate people are morons? Well, they're okay. Morons is kind of like the nonchalant word to use here. Like, imagine being a parent, all right? There's like, even though you lived life as a kid, there's things you can relate to when raising a child. But things change over time, so the idea of a kid kind of becomes different, right? So there's a time in your life where you don't understand your children with the lifestyle they're living in because times have changed. That misunderstanding and disconnection that parents try to struggle to fix is the same kind of feeling I get with HASBRO and WotC trying to work with us, but instead of trying to fix the problem of trying to understand us, they're trying to understand our habits so we follow them more blindly. Does that make sense? Ooh, it was an easy way to buy everything back in the early 2000s. Yes, as that came out far less frequently. For sure. I miss that. And you could buy a lot of it in your 3-month time period and open up whatever and have your enjoyment with the game. I would like to build a Kaladesh cube, right? Alfonso Investments. If you like Kaladesh that much, there's a lot more vehicles. There's a lot of artifacts out there. There's a lot more synergies, a lot more Thopter capability out there between products that it could be worth the value. All right, WotC has stated only engage with the products you enjoy. I highly recommend taking that to heart. Well, since my disposition has let me to only take that to heart, I still believe it. It was probably the smartest thing they said, and they probably didn't mean it the way they said it. I like the vehicles. That was fun for me. Yeah, vehicles, I like the vehicles, but I don't like drafting vehicles, so there's no vehicles in my cube. But vehicles are a fun way to work around, and there are plenty of them, newer ones, to even enhance the flavor of it. Whew, so good, Alfonso. Well, thank you guys for watching this live. I gotta go. It's about time for the wife wake up. I gotta attend to her, make her dinners, make her feel good and specials and loved before she has to go to work. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping in, everybody. Had a great conversation with you. Alfonso, Kristen, Game and Bob, I know Brian, Chris, Immortal Prince for sure. Thanks for showing up. Coach's Magic, thanks for stopping by for a bit. And I'm trying to say hi, bye to everybody, and thank you to everybody. Pause Brown, thank you for stopping in. Right, and honestly, for those I engaged with a lot, everybody here, I hope next time I go live and have just a random chat like this, that we can bullshit like this more often, if whenever I do, because it's been fun. And with that, thank you for watching. Woo! You're welcome, bud. You're welcome, and I like you.